You probably clicked this video since we are alike. Our personality type is only held by 1% of the world's population. You probably watched Demolition Ranch's channel with crazy titles such as Can Cookie Dough Stop a 50 caliber Ammo and other YouTube tutorials such as How to Pick Up a Chair, etc. Anyway, to the topic you clicked this video for. Why do banks have no toilets? 95% of banks I have come across have no toilets. So being the personality type I am, who watches Indians build swimming pools in the desert at 3 a.m., I went on to dig millions of data about this strange phenomenon, and by millions of data I mean a quick Google search. And here is what I discovered. I discovered that if you hit the subscribe button, I will be able to pay my rent on time. Anyway, here are some reasons banks do not have toilets. 1. Banks are stingy. Banks transact and make a lot of money from us. However, cash being generated by our banks through our deposits is not aligned to minor services. That includes provision of bathrooms within or near banking halls. Banks have corporate social responsibilities, but on average they are not proactive enough to pursue these responsibilities. I mean, you can't ask the Ministry of Health to close banks for having no toilets. Banks needs to look at internal and external ways of easing sanitation needs of their customers. Most bank managers are relaxed about this, simply because no one is pushing them. 2. Past legacy. Although there is no evidence on how ancestral banks in the early 1900s impacted current architectural designs, it seems most of our banking infrastructure have grown without public sanitation. It is a tradition that has been in existence for over a century. We have grown up, contented to have buildings that have no toilets. 3. Satisfied customers. Some of our banks have no public toilets because we who deposit money with them are satisfied. We are very happy to rush out of any bank and ask guards where the nearest toilet is, even when we know that it might be hundreds of meters away. Most of us are happy that banks are not obliged to give us such services. We know that the core requirement for banks is to dispense and receive money, even when such transactions take inordinately long. We are enthused that every time we need to use their toilet, we have not only to contend with rude staff, but plead our case. We love to maintain the status quo and are glad to be called esteemed customers, even when we are not so esteemed for denying us toilets. Although quite embarrassing, we can't confront banks because we don't care. 4. Security issues. Having toilets in banks bring extra, but unnecessary security measures like escorts and video surveillance, which infringes on the rights of the person being inconvenienced. So, for security concerns, banks would insist on cameras on every person who has entered their facility. This is quite disturbing when it comes to toilets.